on, guys? It's about time to get this class started. Teacher's running late. Don't judge me. Had to find a stuffed sloth for my littlest. She was going to bed. You know, she needed that. You know, that just the new toy, of course. She's got a bazillion stuffed animals, but she wants the one toy she can't find. You know how that goes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn on a little bit of music. I wasn't going to, but I'm going to turn something on. Silence is just driving me crazy. But I'm going to keep it turned down today for sure. Because today we actually have a guest, and I'm super excited about it. Been watching these guys and Shafe build a bot in the channel and in the Discord, and I was really just watching from the background, man, and they just did some awesome stuff. And I think this stream is going to be very encouraging to everybody. It's really going to show you, you know, really what the bot can be used for, and hopefully it's going to give you a bunch of ideas. You know, I'm hoping a bunch of new channels will pop open and people will start building these things together, because you know, like, we got a bunch of good traders, you know, running the SSS bot, and we've got some Autobots running, which y'all don't want to hear this, but I paused some of them, but mainly because of funky price action and, you know, some weird market stuff going on, but they'll be back on very soon, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I'm just hoping this will just be super encouraging. So Shafe, man, how's it going? You're on.
It's going great. It's going great. Looking forward to sharing the stuff that we went through. You know, I didn't do this alone. There was a group of us in the channel, and that's the whole point, right? I mean, it's a phenomenal community, and everybody feeds off the other person, and you just you get to build off of what other people have already gone through without wasting all that time, and just build it bigger and better, you know, as time goes on.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Someone go ahead and give me some feedback on Shafe's voice. Not like, you know, how luxurious it sounds or anything, but volume-wise, music, want to make sure everything sounds good for everybody, because it's all, of course, music. Shafe, me, we're all on different volume controls. So let me know if it sounds good. And guys, I'm very excited about this. I've actually been wanting to do this stream for a while. But I kind of had to wait until, you know, everybody in that group and, you know, Shafe was really, you know, comfortable with coming on and sharing, and yep. So yeah, I say we go ahead and get started. I guess what I want to do real quick, let's jump to our live screen. I'm going to open up our Crypto Fusion Bot Discord. Watching the cool intro. It's so awesome. If you built that intro, please reach out to me again. Someone built me this intro and I have no idea. I've looked through my DMs and I can't find it, and I'm like, dude, it was so awesome. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to show everybody the divergence of mini, which I know I scrolled through the other day. So here it is, right? Still talking today. To this day, they're still working on this thing. But yeah, we're going to go into some detail about this. And you guys see some results here. So, I guess, Shafe, how did this start for you? Like, obviously you found us through J Casper, and here we are, you know? Like, how did this thing start?
Well, I, like many of us, and I heard you mention last night actually in the class, you know, full-time job plus family responsibilities, and you know, didn't have enough time to stare at the price action and place the trades and exit the trades. Only rarely. It's very frustrating because I learned a TA through Jason's course, which is phenomenal, and you know, was plotting it out and getting things right that just were happening when I was at work or asleep or something. So I was when they said that they were going to put a bot together, and I heard about it on his YouTube. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I need. So I got involved in the beta testing, and just excited. It's finally all coming to fruition here, and things are officially launched. And I like the way you guys are doing it. Slow and steady, right? You don't want to go barreling headlong into anything that can create issues. So slow and steady is the best.
Absolutely. That's where Morph Switch is a good balance for me, because sometimes I'm like, ready to dive off the cliff, and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's check box A, B, and C, and then you can go spelunking, like slow down a little bit. That's why we work so great together. And guys, he has been working nonstop, like unbelievable. So I really appreciate him. So thank you, Morph Switch, and for all your hard work, seriously. But what exactly caught your eye with the divergences of mini? Like, what brought you to this indicator specifically?
So there, when you listen to Jason, and all of his trades are based on divergences. So there's a couple of different indicators out there that print the divergences. It just seemed, when I was looking through them, that the DFM, we give it those initials, the DFM was a little more robust, a little more tunable, right? So, and it definitely, you could set the alerts very easily, which of course is necessary for the bot, right? You have to be able to trigger a confirmation or a signal. So it just seemed to be well placed.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I even got it up on the chart right now, and I know, like, like there's one right here that's MFI, so that's one div, right? And since it's divergence of many, here's a MACD divergence, histogram, RSI, CCI, all this stuff. So there's 5 at this point, and then there's like 7 here, and it's just showing like a buildup of divergences. So that's pretty cool. I'd looked at this one before. I did want to ask, like, I know this one has a little bit of like reprinting and lag, so I'm kind of curious how you guys navigated around that, or if there's settings for that. I didn't dive very deep into it at all. I just briefly looked at it because I saw that you guys are working on it.
So it's got a couple of quirks. Of course, anything that prints the divergences is gonna keep changing as the candles keep printing. And if you go back and replay this, you'll see how the divergences will print, go away, and move up a candle.
Sure. Okay.
And then move back a candle. I mean, so that, but they're all like that. All the divergence indicators. So they have to be, by the nature of the data that comes through. So you have to use other confirmations. You can't just rely on this one indicator, right? Because it can, well, let's just say it'll fire, but it's not good, right? So you have to have other confirmations that'll keep you out of a trade, and more so than put you in a trade, right? So it's protection, right? Getting the rest of the environment together.
Gotcha. See, I really like that. I kind of want to touch on that for a minute. Like, I think that's what I have found in doing this, is that there's not just one indicator out there, right, to trade off of. And that's why, there was a lot of other great trading bot platforms, and, hands down, some of them are really super nice. And I've used a lot of them, 3 commas, Pinex. There was even some like homegrown off-grid ones that I downloaded. There's all kinds of stuff, Moonbot and different things. And, like, I tried a bunch of them, but I think what was missing for me was being able to use a lot of different indicators, and then of course the multi-time frame. So yeah, I figured that's how you guys were doing it, so I'm very interested to see. So I guess, like me, everyone else, like, I guess we're curious, like, how does this thing work? How does your version of this work? Because I think there could be multiple versions of this, but you seem like you've built one that's pretty successful. So maybe we could even talk about, well, let's talk about how it works first, and then we'll go into some of the success and numbers that you've had with it.
You mean the Autobot that I put together,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So um, I noticed in doing a lot of testing, because I've gone through probably 20 different models before I settled on this one. And initially, I was trying to do something with, and I have market Cipher B, but you can use Fu Manchu. One of the guys in our group, Michael, he uses Fu Manchu, and I think another guy, Flex on him, he uses Fu Manchu too, and has market Cipher. But either way, one of the small dots, which is showing the momentum change, is going to be involved, right? Because that's showing that price action is going in, or momentum's going in the right direction. So you want to combine that with price action, and so many different variations I tried just really weren't cutting it. When I noticed, just by looking at some of the data that I'd put together and some of the trades I had, says, why did this one lose? Why did that one win? And just trying to get the whole, picture. It really is like a picture, when you're looking at it. And I noticed that the VWAP would dive for a long, for example, the VWAP would dive down before it would come up. And in order to confirm that VWAP is now reversed and is going into the right direction, if I wait for a small green dot of it for a long, for example, and it's below a certain level, the best level I found was 40, and that signifies that price action is going in the direction I want. If you can combine that with divergence, now you have a good environment. But we needed to get one thing else in order to really trigger the trade, and that's where we used the 3 minute 5 EMA 5 SMA relationship. And you ask where I got all this stuff from. The EMA SMA crosses I got from Looking Glass Crypto.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking that when you brought it up. Yep.
Yeah, he does some things that are really wild. And I got him through Jay Casper too, because he was, giving him praises one day and saying how he really likes the way he seems to front end all of Jay's trades by his technique or whatever. So I said, well, let me look at that. The divergence and the small dots are really just based on, again, just listening to what Jay was saying. I settled on a 12-minute time frame again because it kept hearing that rattling around in my head, that the 12-minute is the best, for really indicating where stuff is going. Obviously not for scalps, but I wasn't interested in the scalp market. I was interested more in a day or a swing trade. So because I couldn't be there to close a trade as quickly as I liked if I needed to. So I need a little more time.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool.
So I played around with different variations and different levels, and really it comes down to going to the charts and back testing, getting a model, and that's not easy. I mean, it takes time, a lot of time, and you can't just do a dozen trades. I mean, you have to really get a significant number of trades. I usually do between 60 and 100, and it takes a little while. And I do it manually because I don't know how to program in PineScript. So, so I don't know how to get that to work, especially not with a complicated model.
Yeah, right. Benton, are you here? Benton, pay attention. PineScript needed. Just kidding.
So so then when you get all the data together, you get your win-loss rate, you get your two things that are very important, right? Obviously, your win rate and how you set up your take profits. That's another issue. I mean, I had a whole series of
very big issue
where I figured out what was the best take profit scenario. so many different variations I tried, and you have to, so now I just settled on one. I can't test all the variations every time I change something, so I settled on one that seemed to be far superior. And and then so you figure out what the distribution of your take profits are, right? A good bot's not going to give you 80% of, a take profit one at like, 0.5%. I mean, that's not really what you're looking for. So you want something that's weighted towards, the later take profits. I use four. So, I'm looking at, a distribution of take profits that settle, in the higher end. So it's obviously more profitable in a shorter amount of time. But the key is having as little losses as possible. So if you don't lose, again, right from Jay, if you don't lose, you're going to win, right? So that's the first priority. So minimizing those losses. So when you go through the data and all the trades, you want to figure out, how can I fine tune that? How can I adjust, the value of the small dot, the distance of the divergence to the small dot, how deep the VWAP reversal is, all these different variables, and there's so many. You got to just limit it to what you can wrap your brain around, and you come up with now a refined model, and then you keep doing that until you get the win rate and take profit distribution that you're looking for. And I got 80% win rate, with, I think it was roughly 50% take profit one. The other 50% were higher. It might have been a little better than that. But what really turned it is when I went to the next level, when I went to the closing strategy, and then when I tried to figure out, all right, how can I improve the closes? How can I win more of those losses and make the wins even better? And I was able to crank it up to like 98% win rate, and the distribution on the take profit was let's see, the distribution on the take profit was
Yeah, and let me know if you're in a position to share screen. I can do that. If there's something you want to show us, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely, yeah, we can do that, and I can go back. So let me just finish. So with the forward testing, I was able to crank it up to, like a 97% win rate, and the take profits, when instead of 50% like TP1, it was only 13%. And that meant that, over 85% were at TP2 and above.
Oh, wow.
And that was pretty exciting. Yeah. Now, again, that's only, and you got to remember this. I mean, that was only over a 3-week period of time. I looked at over 60 trades, and those are the numbers. So you gotta be careful, right? You can't extrapolate to all situations at all times, but during that period of time, we did have some sideways, some uptrends, downtrends, not huge trends, but up and down trends. So.
Gotcha, that's awesome. So, a couple of questions I have. One is, how long have you been working on this one strategy?
Ooh. 2 or 3 months.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it's not something you throw together on a weekend. That's
exactly.
For sure.
And I was kind of asking a question. I knew relatively what the answer. I knew it wasn't like, a week. I knew, you had a long, history on this and working on it because I had been watching. So, I understand. I know how much it takes. So yeah, that's awesome, man.
So, yeah. So I mean, if you want, I can share the screen. I don't want to overwhelm people with the numbers of the big databases, but you can see the process that I went through.
Sure. I think there'll be
if
some
you
data
want.
geeks out here that'll totally geek out with this and love it. And, the
Yeah,
rest
it's
of you
definitely.
guys who are probably more like me, actually, just kind of look with one eye and, just absorb that it's a good thing. And
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
So I guess I can tell when you share it, but
Yep.
um,
You just share away and I will,
okay. Well, I have to go.
I got it.
I thought yeah, I never did that with you, so you don't have to show screen.
Okay.
Go
So
live.
just, on our chat, if you just click the, share your screen
I
button.
did, and then just the
I,
Schlongbot Discord,
yeah.
right? Oh, I see. So this one, and then just go live.
Yep. And I think it depends if you probably chose to, yeah, share an application. Oh, no, you're sharing
Yeah.
screen. You're good. You're fine. All right, let's do
Oh,
it.
no, okay. Yeah. So this is the database then. So whenever it pops up.
Oh, okay, so we don't see the database. We see Discord.
Okay. So I did it
Yeah, so
something
go
wrong.
back to
So
share screen because they have like a share application.
stream settings,
Yeah, just go ahead and stop sharing and then reshare. Discord
and then
tricks
do it
me on this
again.
all the time. When you click screen share, you'll see like
There's the screens. I
applications and then
got you. Entire
screens.
screen.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they totally get me
There we
every
go.
time.
I think that should be it.
Yeah, there we go. All right. All you data people are all excited. I don't know if my buddy Mike's watching right now, but he's probably getting all giddy if he is. It might be a little hard for some of you guys to read this,
You can
so
see, you can see it now. Okay. So if you just go go across, obviously the date of the trade, the time of the trade, um, we were at this point trying to figure out if the VWAP, and we have to calculate that. So that's a custom confirmation. So it's a rate of change over so many bars. And actually, Flex on him hit that. I mean, he was the first one to start using that, and that's when I started looking at it too. And he's the one that came up with that initially. And I tried a couple of different variations, and we ended up what he had said all along. So I think, and you can see here, if you look at the top, I was using a 12-minute VWAP, over 3 bars, over 2 bars. There was the difference, right? The rate of change, right? And all these, like these first several columns are just trying to figure out what's the best way to read the VWAP, right? And
gotcha.
then that was going to be how the TTL to the divergence, right? So how many bars does that need to live in order to make an impact and work with the divergence? And then we bring in the small dot, right? And so I have to find out how far away is the small dot, what's the value of the small dot, and then we do the same thing with that EMA SMA relationship. Okay. And then of course we do the RR, the R&R, maximum, and 2 different take profit scenarios, right? So yeah, you can fill in so many different blanks in here, but this is what I was doing. And when you go down and you figure out all the numbers, right? You do all like, what was your final take profit, and where was the profit, and where were your losses? You go in here and you just you start sorting, and I did it with colors here, and I figure, okay, well, if I want to try to get rid of the losses, let me put them all together and figure out what's their commonality. And if I figure out, for example, like I did, if you have to trigger that within so much time, like the VWAP has to happen within 5.5 bars. The small dot has to happen within 11, and the EMA SMA has to happen within I think 4.5 bars or 5 bars. All
Ah,
right. So,
gotcha.
and when you got to put, yeah, but it does, the numbers aren't as important. I have them all programmed in the bot now. But how I found that out was collecting the data and then eliminating the bad stuff, right? And if you look
Gotcha.
here, this data here, see the gray bars? Those are my losses, right? So I put the losses up there. I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's the common element to the losses? Well, this has already been refined because I only had 3 losses out of 60 trades. So that was that was part of where we were going, going on the right track. Okay.
Gotcha. And I know I know you guys can't really see this that well. I know it's really blurry. It's not the actual data that we're interested in here, which I'm really glad you're sharing right now. But I really
Do
want
you
everyone just to see what it really takes, like, this is,
do you want me to pump up the quality that I'm
sure.
sharing
Yeah,
or
why
not?
not? Let's give it a try. And maybe even zoom in a little bit. Oh,
No,
okay.
need
Yeah.
nitro to do that. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, no
Stream
worries.
quality.
It's not necessarily the, like
Yeah,
actual data we're interested in, but I just want everyone to, take note of, like, the kind of things that you looked for, like the commonality of the, the losing trades. Like, that's a nugget right there that people could, you know,
so here
take to the bank.
I
There you
zoomed
go. That's much that actually cleared it up quite a bit.
yeah.
But yeah, so taking the commonality in the trades and trying to filter those out, like that's in the losses, that's really important. But the hard work that's gone into this is really what impressed me. And I understand this hard work and this hard road, and you know, so yeah, I just want to encourage everybody. This is worth it.
Right. So, and if you then what you do, that's the back testing. Okay. So I developed a a program, right? A series of events that had to happen, and it's written up here, right? The 12-minute VWAP, the changeover 2 or 3 bars, coupled with the 3-minute EMA SMA, the divergence, the small dots, different values, right? And then I ended up with this is how I program it. The VWAP had to be more than 4.5 points of difference within. This actually changed to 5.5 bars. 5.5 bars of divergence has to happen over the course of 11. I think that went up to, no, it is 11. Over the course of 11 bars, everything has to come together. The divergence, the VWAP, the EMA, SMA, and the small dot. Okay.
Nice.
Green or red. And that's, yeah, there you go. It's the total life right here, 11 bars. And that's where you use the retry function, right? So I have the retry, I think it turns out to be 41 times every 3 minutes. So, so my Discord is a mess.
We're actually going to
Anytime,
create a new option that you're going to be very happy about, and it's going to be only alert me when the bot actually trades.
oh, that's good. But
So
as long as it's in there, right? Because you need it in there to debug things sometime, right?
that's true. You got a point there. That's why it's going to be an option.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So maybe once you're like, I'm done, my bots are built, I'm good, I'm not troubleshooting, you turn it off, and you only get bothered when it takes a good trade.
Right. Right. So uh, so you develop your formula, okay? Now that was on back testing, right? So that's only so good, and then you go forward, right? And then here's my formula back there again. See if let me zoom in again. Again, there's the VWAP, the time to live. Trigger is the div. There it is, that 3 minutes, right? Every 3 minutes for 41, right? And all the different pieces. I was running it for probably almost 2 weeks before I realized I didn't code it correctly. So that's always a problem. You got to make sure that it's doing what you want it to do. And then, so I had to debug it up there. But this was the original win-loss rate, right? I was at 77 and 23. You can tell it was heavily weighted over here to the TP1, TP2. Although I still increased my account test. It was the testnet too, guys. Definitely. I still, to this day, I still haven't put anything on the live account. So, until I'm 100% sure, I'm not going to risk even $1. So it's not worth it, right? Because we're in this for the long haul. It's not some get-rich-quick scheme. So I'm not going to play around with things.
Yeah, I'll be your cliff jumper. Don't worry. It's all paper trading anyway. I'm just kidding.
Right. So now this is the forward testing. So I literally just set up the bot and I looked at what happened, found out some problems, fine-tuned them. Like, for example, a lot of bots are doing this. They'll take in double, triple, quadruple trades. As those, as the price action wiggles around, and they can trigger them several times. And that's a real problem. I wish there was a better way to fix that, but right now you just make your balance on a trade at 50% or more, and make sure you adjust your risk appropriately, and then you can only fire one trade. So
we're also going to have a new feature that controls how many trades you want to open. So if you're like on Bitcoin, perfect. 2 trades is all I'll take, then you can control it a little bit better. Great. So yeah, that 50% thing threw me off at first because I was like, 50% of my account, but I knew where you were going with it, and I know you can control risk with leverage, so I wasn't worried about it. But I was like, this is interesting. I'm usually on the other side of this where I'm like 1%.
If you use 10% of your account, right, at 50x, you can use 50% of your account at 10x, right? Same difference.
That's right.
Yeah. So but of course then your stop loss based on your risk tolerance, has to be adjusted fairly well down. That's everybody's personal taste. So now what I did is I adjusted this because I didn't like my results, right? So again, I sorted it out. I found out where I could get rid of some of these losing trades. And I went to the next sheet, and what I was able to do is I was able to pump it up to 79.3%. Much better weighted, right?
Gotcha.
A little better weighted, and higher to the TP2. Still not happy about the 3s and 4s. Now I have less trades because I got rid of the doubles and the triples. Okay.
So on those doubles and triples, how many of those were like, because if you're filtering out the bad trades, because I know sometimes what happens is you get like a triple loser and it's like bang, 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 and that hurts.
Yes. I only had 1 or 2 losers. Most of them were wins. But when you get a double or a triple loss, that can eliminate 10 trades,
Yeah,
12,
especially in a row.
So it wasn't worth it to me with the ratio. If you look at the double and triple ones, it was probably, it was probably better than 65 or 70% were wins, but that 30%, it's not even, right? Because the 30% is a full loss based on your stop loss. And the wins might only be 0.5% or 1%, right? So it's, you're still going to stop out. So, when you, and a lot of times, people should really realize when I have another database, when you hit TP1, you don't get 0.5%, right? If you stop out, you don't, because you have to take whatever percent of the trade you didn't take out. Say I take out 30%, you have to take 70%, right? And you can add a little bit, or you're going to subtract it if you don't move your stop loss up far enough, right?
Yep.
Same thing with TP2. You don't just make, like my TP2 is 1%. You don't get 1%, right? You get 1%, and then if you move your stop loss, you're going to get, you're going to get 1% of the 30%, for example, and then 70% is going to be at. For me, I move the stop loss; it'll be at 0.5%, right? So it's not like you get 100% of your trade at 1%. No, it's not the way it works, right? So the numbers are much less than people think if you don't really pay attention to the amount of trade that's coming out, you know?
Oh yes, 100%. I have legit gone in and doubled my account on a trade, but I didn't take any profit out, or maybe I didn't take enough profit, and I ended up gaining like 5% on my account or 10% instead of, like, been there, like, where I'm like, just because you're so excited, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a 10x trade on my account, and no. That's
Yeah.
honestly, guys, that's why I use a bot, because I am that guy. I am that FOMO, hold on until I'm losing kind of trade, because I'm seeing the moon,
Yeah,
so
that's why you said you like the bot, right? Because it takes
very
the
much
emotion
so.
out of
100%.
and I'm a firm believer. Actually, one of the things that made I'm going to get to that actually. So this again, I fine tuned it. I did the forward testing, and then I took the forward testing and fine tuned it. And then I went and I applied the custom exits. I did a few different ones, right? So if you can see these. This is the data, but when we come down to the closes, I wanted to see. Maybe it's here. Yeah, no, this is it. Okay, so the exits that I put on, this was this first one was just my plain. The plain bot, the way I've been doing it, with a different TP structure, right? 0.5, 1, 2, 5, 3, and 4. And I'm my stop loss every time, or 0.5, 1, 2, and 4. Well, the 0.5, 1, 2, and 4 is a clear winner every time I've ever tested it, so I don't even test anything else anymore. There might be different ones that work better, but for the ones I tried, this one is the best for me. All right, then I'm going to custom close it. So this closed here. This one either closed at TP4 or stopping out. Okay. Then I said, all right, well, what happens if we just stop it when the opposite small dot prints? So if I'm in a long red dot prints and it's over 40, right? And then
I like that.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't. I thought that was going to be good, and it was 88.5%. If you look at the differences. If you see these, for example, just to give you an idea, this is the take profit distribution, right? If you what did I do? How much? Oh, here it is. So the I got to make it smaller. I'm sorry, because you can't look at the gray stuff, because that's for the table. This is something else. So this take profit here is if I only reset it at the 0.5% TP1. So if I move stop loss after TP1 of 0.5%, and that's it, I don't move it anymore. This is my distribution, and which is really heavy down to the bottom, right? Not something we're looking for. And then if I said, if I didn't reset it, what would happen? And here's the a much better distribution, right? It's weighted in the middle, in the 2s and 3s.
Ah, gotcha. I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
They're asking in the chat if this is not the Schlong bot, right? This is the divergences of Minibot.
So it's an interesting evolution. So we all started talking way back when in the DFM channel. Then for some reason, we just started doing the same conversation in the Schlongbot channel. So there really was just like the early and the later. It's really mostly the same thread. But there's other people in there too. Like there's a couple of guys in there that have been chatting all night tonight, and I was chiming in a little bit, and they got some really good stuff that they're playing with. But that's where the evolution was. So, and the origin of that was we were all trying to get something that could, obviously take a short and take a long and be running at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
couldn't make that work in a good way. So what I'm making here is really not a schlong bot. It's really because otherwise I take too many trades.
Okay, sure,
And
gotcha.
so I did the same thing when the small dot hit 60, hit 80, and some of the things are really good. Like this one right here. So I hit 80, right? I got 100% win rate. But the problem is I only got 29 trades where I was getting 60 before. You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yep, I do.
All these things you have to factor in. Like over here, I was 61 trades, right? So I dropped from 61 to 29, and I got a lot more wins. It's way more better weighted, right, to the 3 and 4. And that wasn't what I saw as advantageous, but it obviously could be for somebody who's interested in that, right? Then I used the DFM to close on an opposite div, right? So if I'm in a long, when is the short, the bear div print, right? So and this is the one that I like the best. You can see I had a 96.7% win rate, and we look at the weighting here goes 13% TP1 and 60 over what is that, like 65% are 2 and 3 and 21% up at TP4. So that's the one that I liked the best. In order to do that, I had to push my stop loss to about 2.25.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all Bitcoin USDT. I haven't tried it on any other coins.
Sure.
I tried the same with the 24-minute div. Again, I got a nice 100% win rate. The distribution is pretty good. It just that the number of trades really got knocked down a good bit. So I just thought that I'd rather have a little less of a win rate, insignificantly less, and more trades.
Yeah, you're
right?
doubling your trades almost.
But again, that's all. I didn't do the numbers on that, the real stats on that, but just looking at it, that was what I liked better. But all this is just crunching the numbers, and the numbers, just taking each trade and putting in the data that you're interested in looking at, and seeing where it goes. It takes time.
100%. Yeah, this is what we've done on multiple things and multiple bots, and I think that's what's been time consuming, is and that, that's kind of what I want to encourage people to is I mean, I do know some people that can run from bot to bot just like because they just have so much experience, but get comfortable with a solid strategy, and Jay's strategies are pretty solid, and we'll go into more depth on that because that's actually where I've done the best. But yeah, I would love to get this set up and give it a try, and maybe it's something that we could allow the community to test out too and see how they like it.
No, absolutely. I'm actually looking at taking the same concept and applying it to the levels that Jay puts out.
That would be
we'll
awesome.
See how that turns out. I just started doing the back testing on that today. So, but yeah, I hope that was clear. I hope it didn't scare anybody away.
Meh. Hey, if I could hang, anybody could hang. I'm not a data guy like this. I have a buddy who does and who is, and we team up because that's what he's good at. And he's actually an Excel, wizard, even though he doesn't want to be.
It just the one thing you want to make sure you don't base a bunch of trades on like a few successes, right? You have to really make sure it survives in the different environments. We have some guys in the channel that like, okay, I'm in a sideways market, so I'm going to turn this one on, or we're dumping, so I'm going to turn this one on, and that stuff is real possible too, based on what you build.
Yeah, 100%. Like I know there's a blood diamond bot running around. I'd like to get a video out on it. Maybe I did. I don't remember. I've made so many bots, they all blend now. But there's a blood diamond bot that during some pretty heavy dumpage, like it was crazy. It was a good bot to have, but man, the reverse on that one, obviously, when things got bullish, you needed to turn that bad boy off.
Yeah, I had no help using any of the market Cipher A. Using market Cipher A indicator, that just wasn't for me. I didn't get
Yeah.
it. So I used market Cipher B on the
Gotcha. I
and
probably got a few ideas for A that maybe we could look at one day, but I think we got enough to focus on. Yet again, how many bots do we want to try and build? That's
yeah,
my issue
right.
because I see 50 bots
One
in my
bot to rule
head.
them all.
You know, Too many ideas. I need to find the good ones and run with them. So, yeah. So would you be willing to share like, your alerts and, kind of basic functionality on it and then yeah.
So this is let's see. Let me go over here. So the basic bot is based off of the DFM indicator here, and this is for the shorts, obviously. These are the settings we use, and I mean I'm more than happy to share it. It's actually already shared in the Salongbot channel. I posted it there, so it's in there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's great about everybody I've looked at. I mean, nobody's trying to hide things. Everybody's very transparent, sharing all their data and their code. And we got guys in our channel that are like really good programmers, and they just making indicators and sharing them with everybody. And that's
Absolutely.
way beyond me. But it's super, you know. Um,
Well, I think one option we have with this, and I kind of want to get some feedback from everybody in the community, is if I do this in my account, then I can actually share this out as a public bot that people could subscribe to, just like the SSS. So we'll get some, and of course this would be for testing because you see the 50% deal, right? Like,
yeah,
balance percent 50, we would have to figure that out for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that, what's going to work for them to keep them into one trade, or is it going to be worth going into a different balance percent and allowing the multiple trades? But like you said, the 3
right.
or 4 in a row really hurt. So, but maybe we could just pick a coin or two.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
because balance
All right.
percent is really relative when you're talking about leverage.
So,
And once it enters the trade, you can actually just slide the leverage up and it actually just dumps your money back in. Oh, but you're doing it 50, so that way it's in use, right?
right.
Okay.
So let me see, did I adjust that on here? This is the code when I dumped it in. Yeah. So actually, I've changed this because my stop loss is now going to be 2%. So I actually only have my leverage at 5. My
Gotcha.
balance percent is 50. All right, and then my stop loss is 2. Right,
Okay.
stop loss is 1. So I bumped this up to 2. I didn't edit it on this one, but if you're going to use the custom close and get the numbers that I got, 1% is not going to cut it for your stop loss because you get cut out too soon.
Gotcha.
Um,
Makes sense.
and that's why I know I used to move my stop loss with every take profit, again, the way Jay usually talks, but there's too much volatility. It would pump up to TP2 and come right back down to TP1. You stop out, and then it goes crazy, right? So you end up losing more, right? So instead of being totally safe, as long as you capture that profit, or at worst a no lose situation by moving the stop loss at 0.5% move, then you're good. That doesn't matter what happens, right? Because you're not going to lose. I mean, that's my mindset, right? If I don't lose, I'm good. If I win a little, win a lot, great. And then we'll
Gotcha. So
figure out.
is there at any point do you move your stop loss up or no? You leave it.
I have not other than very rarely have I manually managed my trade after it goes. Because again, I'm very busy, so
Yeah, I hear
I
you.
can't do anything during the day, and when I'm at home, if it happens to hit, I mean that's like like hitting a lottery almost, So I don't have the ability to manually do that often.
But I mean, in your script, is there
Um,
anywhere in your script where it moves the stop loss at all? Like even when it hits 4? Well,
yeah,
I guess
yeah,
when it
yeah,
hits 4,
yeah.
it sells out
F1.
completely, right?
Yeah, TP1, or it sells out, right?
Oh, scroll up a little bit higher.
So I move it right here, right? TP1 at 0.5%, I move my stop loss. This is different now. So this is the
Oh,
older
okay.
take.
Okay, that makes sense. I was looking
This
at they said
here,
false, but those are all true.
true, right? This one would be true.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's what my brain was seeing. Yeah, no, actually, this is a
Yeah.
lot how Jay does trade. Because once he takes his first take profit, he moves his stop loss to entry, and then he like walks away and like leaves it, and he doesn't keep moving his stop loss. Usually, it actually just stays at entry to kind of cover him to make sure there's a no
Okay.
loss. So,
Yeah, so I just so it is what I was just saying.
yep,
Um, all right,
yep.
and
You nailed
now
that.
so this is that was the main code. And again, this is all in the Schlong channel. This one is how I calculate the VWAP. Okay, so some of the settings in the indicators are very important. Okay, people are always finagling with the DFM indicators. In particular, I wait until the divergence is confirmed, and I use a minimum of 2. And I don't add any external ones. I had in the past. I didn't see that it made any difference. So I just check all the ones that are options there. I think there's 10 or 11. I just check them all. Everything else is I wait for candle close, and all the rest are just the defaults. I use regular, no hidden divergence. I just use the regular. So that's for that one. The market cipher, you can do this in Fu Manchu. Michael Kuz has a code for that again on the channel. I don't use it, and it's slightly different, but you can do it exactly the same. The VWAPs are identical, so you just have to figure out
Yeah,
which one to
VWAP's a
use.
VWAP, really. You know,
Yeah.
it's
And
mathematical.
right. So you just have to set that up, right? So if you want it to move up 4.5, you just put it in there. Greater than 4.5 over 3 bars, very easy. The opposite, obviously, for the longs. The red dots, again, they're identical in Market Cipher and Fu Manchu. You just set it that once it's blue wave crossing down, you know, is the red dot, and blue wave crossing up is the green dot on Market Cipher. I think the terminology is slightly different on Fu Manchu, but again, it's in there. The EMA SMA is obvious, right? So we want an EMA greater than SMA when it's long, and vice versa when it's short. And this is the code for that.
Excuse me. That's awesome, man.
Custom code I put down here, right? So we're going to use the contrary 12-minute div. Stop loss at 2.1. There's the take profits. Balance percent leverage 5x. So I put it down here. I just didn't change it up top. Yeah. And this is the code. Very simple. I take it all out, right? So whatever's left, I take it out. So in a short, it's important that you buy, right, out. And this was confusing to some people out there. And in a long, obviously, you want to sell to come out, right?
Yeah, yeah. If you have a question about this, guys, in the announcements channel, you scroll back. There is it actually says, it explains on the side, like what side you want to close, and there's some notes on the side. So just go to the announcement channel, scroll back to where Borf Switch announced that we had the closing, and then I think it's also located in our wiki. So just pay attention there, just in case. But yeah, you're right, because I've actually done that.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets a little, it can get a little confusing. But I saw that board switch. I programmed all this by manually. I noticed I went on the signal page. 'Cause I don't go there very much. I mean, and you should. I definitely should. I do the programming manually, and I run into trouble sometimes. So you definitely should do it on the signal page. But
Yeah.
uh, I noticed he put in the closed signal there, so it probably makes it easier. I didn't do one like that because it didn't exist when I had to create the closed signal. So, but I saw it's there now. So
So I see some questions about can we show how to set up the confirmations, and yeah, I think we can do that. Probably not tonight on this stream. You can maybe do a quick overview. But
I mean,
yeah, we could make a specific channel just for this where we could post information that will help you guys, you know, set this up and maybe give it a try yourselves. And I'm kind of interested. I really want to alter this just a tiny bit and put it on altcoins. You know, a little bit bigger of a stop loss. You know, take profits a little more spread out. And my only caution to everybody with altcoins is just pay attention to the volatility. You know,
yeah.
no volume really means that market makers have control, and easy stop out is easy money for them. So.
Well, we had talked about this a while ago. I didn't find that the day of the week mattered for this, but it could very well for alts.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, volume's huge. I've been, yeah, I mean, not that volume's new to me, but I've just really realized, especially with botting, how important volume is. So, and especially with the idea of, significant number of accounts going in and together, stuff like that. So, just something I've been trying to mentally drill into myself now. It's like volume.
Yeah. All right. Um, so this is someone had asked about the
Mm-hmm.
right. This is the alert. I'm using Market Cipher VWAP. It's moving up. Remember, I fine tuned it to over five, so it has to be 5.1 and 3 bars. I mean, that's it, right? Once per bar close. You can play around with those things, but that made logical sense to me, so I didn't change. I've never played around with that. Um, and then in the beginning, when I'm testing, I make sure I put the sound on and I get notified. But right after I'm done, you got to turn that off. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Um, Give it a nice label, and then the time the time to live is going to be based on what you found out in your data. That's the number for me. But I mean, the confirmations are the easiest part to set up. Actually, it's just finding out what you want to confirm. Right?
Yep. And if
So,
someone else wants to set up these confirmations for themselves so that way they can alter it, you'll just have to get it a slightly different name, just so you know.
yeah, I guess you find that out when you go to make it, and it won't let you, right? So
Yep.
you just you have to pick a different name. There's so many different ways to use it, so that's not a problem. The EMA SMA, right? This one's a little more difficult. So you want to take your EMA, right, on the close, and what are you going to use for it? You're going to do the EMA. This is what I do, and some guys were playing around with different ones. It's going to be greater than your MA close, right? And and that's it. And then I do that once per bar close. Okay. But I read it every minute, you know. So and I do that so that I don't miss it. And that could be my ignorance, but it was just easier for me to do that so I didn't miss a change, and I
Sure.
didn't have to wait 3 minutes for that change to happen. So I just read that every 3 minutes. I mean, I read it uh, every every minute. Um,
So time
yeah,
to live on
once.
this one is 0. Oh, that's the infinite. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so that actually comes up as a point. A lot of people ask about that. So the EMA SMA is always going to replace itself. It's either
Yes.
going to be yes or no, right? Long or short. So the TTL is every minute or every 3 minutes, it's going to just change. So whatever I set it up for. These are 3 minutes actually. So every 3 minutes it changes. So it's always going to be a value, long or short. So it doesn't have to live. So I can't make it not live. So I just made it infinite because it constantly switches back and forth. The small dots. This is a problem, at least when I see it. You can't read what this is. Blue wave crossing up, crossing down.
Yeah,
So
sometimes it's just I've even tried to
so
play around with the website size and zoom and aspect ratio.
yeah,
I still can't get it to do anything.
yeah. Once in a while it pops in correctly. Maybe it's on the iPad or the phone when I use it. It comes in and you can read it. Anyway, the down is down. So the lower one is down. And you just want that to be greater than um, the value that you put in there, right? 39,
Yep.
greater than 39 is what I use. And again, once per bar close, label it, and very simple, And the time to live, that is based on the data. Same thing with the long version over here. All right, so I just have the closing. They're just as soon as an opposite divergence hits, I get I bow out. Right.
That's actually been really powerful for us too, knowing when to go ahead and just take all your profit and run. So yeah, that's something, definitely to consider, and I'm glad to see it's being used. That was actually the reason why we asked for that close. And a lot of these a lot of the features, some of them, me and a few of the originals, and really I guess I'm just talking about Mike, like there's things that we've been begging for,
Mm-hmm.
and others like South Paul as well. We're like, if we could just do this, and we'd contact Borf Switch and be like, hey man, can we get it changed? And he was just so good about it. You could just see the maturity in his skill set. Like he knew how to handle change management, and he was almost like anticipating things. And a few times he was like, hey, what about this? Would this help you guys? And we're like, yeah. So it's been awesome, and I really see how this is just going to get better. I mean, we're just in the beginning stages of this bot, really, and how powerful it is. So I feel like this is just going to snowball eventually, and it's just I'm glad everybody's here, especially the new adopters that are here, everyone who's getting in now. So I think it's just going to be awesome.
This indicator here, the DFM, actually the version DFM no erase was made by Michael Kuz, who's in the channel too. He went in and he edited the DFMI script so you could back test, because it repaints, so you can back test without having to replay, which is a key thing.
Oh
because
yes.
having to replay really takes a lot of time. So he created this version. It's like 2 lines of code you have to comment out, and he has it in there. But yeah, hats off to him for doing that. It really helped out a lot. Right, because everybody's always asking, what are the settings for the DFM? This is the same exact indicator as the DFMI version 4 that we have over there that we talk about. You use close, regular divergences, at least 2. These are defaults. Those other numbers are all defaults. I don't like to have the screen all loaded up, so I just put how many, what the number is. I don't care about the names or anything like that. And I specifically do not. I want to wait for a confirmation, because it can flip all over the place, and I found that it's not as predictable if you check that box. And then I just check everything. I did in this. I actually am running Market Cipher B. I use the light blue waves. I think, yeah, light blue waves. But I don't. It really didn't make any difference. It never took me in or out of a trade. Okay, so that's those are the settings everybody's always debating over, and that's what I use.
Awesome.
I think that's pretty much it.
Does anybody have any questions? I know this was more of a general overview. This is really meant to just kind of like show you guys, what people in the community have done, how they've taken, the tools that have been given to them and just like really worked on something to create something awesome. We'll create a channel. I might even make this like a bot that can be publicly subscribed to if there's enough interest in that. But I'll at least make a channel where you guys can take the settings and the scripts and things and, use them. And, yeah. Yep. You guys can start by, like right here, go to the Schlongbot channel, and then the Divergence is a mini channel down there under strategies as well. So yeah, that'll be awesome. I'm excited about this. Yeah. So if you got questions, guys, drop them in.
It's under strategies. And if it's not showing up for you, what do you got to do? You got to go over here to archive channels or something like that, right? And you can find it. Something. All right. It's showing up for me because I have a post in it, but I think that right, are you there?
Yep. Sorry, I'm getting a text too at the same time.
There's a way to get it, right? There's a way to get if a sub-channel's not showing up, there's a way to get it up there somewhere, right? It'll show archive channels or something like that.
Okay, right? Maybe just because I'm the server, one of the server owner. I don't know. I didn't have to. It shows up for me. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, it sounds like it's under threads, so you guys can click there and go under threads.
Yeah, you can always search for it, right? Just search for Schlong.
Yeah, a few people are asking for me to make it for everybody publicly, so yeah, we'll work on that offline, and I think this will be good. Keep it on. I think this would be great to run on altcoins when they're running high volatility, high volume anyway. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. All right. Anything else I can answer for you? Does anybody else have any questions or?
I don't know. You guys go ahead and post. I'm gonna just turn on some music for a few minutes. I'll hang out and I'll go on mute. But you guys can just ask any questions. Hey guys, I'm still reading the chat here. So I see the bot didn't fire today. With the weird price action and stuff, I actually paused it. So that's really why. So that's my fault. And then also, pretty much, I see there's a question about if the bot is only for high volatility or like high volume. I would say every bot does better in high volume. When you get high volume, you actually get potentially non-manipulative price movement. So things tend to play out more accurately than with low volume, because low volume you might get a lot of market manipulation, and you might get like stop hunted. And I've actually tested this stuff, and I know other people who have in greater detail than me. But that kind of stuff happens and it's real. So that's why I kind of stick to the higher volume action coins, because I tend to feel like, one, I trade better in higher volume, and I feel like the bots perform better. So it might just be a personal preference, but I just thought I'd share that. Here,